Hi, everybody, and welcome to TNN Coaching Unplugged and Zoran Todorovic Interconnected podcast. And today we have this wonderful, wonderful guest with us. She's a very close friend and collaborator in evolution of human consciousness. And Vivien Ji is joining us today from Bali. Vivien is Master Certified Evolutionary Coach. She's a specialist in holistic coaching for individuals, organizations, and teams. She actually supports people to align to their highest potential, to their passion and purpose, and to achieve the state of holistic well-being. Vivien creates a heart-centered space to alchemize the challenges of life into the breakthroughs and to support the evolution and growth of the human being. She is a dream chaser. She's a life coach. She's a detox queen. She's a retreat curator. And she's a wonderful soul that is enabling other people to live connecting and loving and creative lives. So, Vivien, welcome.
Thank you, Zoran. Wow, what a fancy introduction. Thank you so
this
much.
is one of my this is one of my signature, whenever I introduce people in this conversation, they usually say, oh my God, can I really live to these expectations to do such a wonderful introduction? It's overwhelming, huh?
It's wonderful. I'm like seeing myself in my highest potential, So yeah, it's all good. Thank you. So really appreciate that.
So you and I were collaborating on this wonderful curation of one of the Bali retreats. And what I wanted to talk to you about today in this podcast is the journey that people go with you when they come to this retreat of detoxing their mind, detoxing their heart and soul, and then detoxing their body, and then transforming themselves to become the best possible version of themselves. So tell me a little bit more about the journey that people might experience when they come and see you and see us in Bali.
Yeah. In the last few years of doing this retreat in Bali, I've been honored to serve a lot of women. And of course, there are wonderful men who join our retreat as well, but we do attract more women than men. I think it's somehow related to this like a feminine energy revival and energy rising and healing the Gaia energy and really awakening all the women to be on the journey of evolution, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, energetically. So when people come to Bali, as you know, like Bali has such amazing energy for healing. Like for example, Ubud itself means medicine. So on the chakra of the earth, Bali has a very strong energy. It's one of the earth chakras. So the reason I choose Bali as one of my retreat destination is that, the healing energy and also the culture. So when people arrive in Bali, of course, we have everything taken care of. There are people who pick them up from the airport and then they come to a beautiful retreat where it's like, you just like, you step into the retreat, you just connect with nature. So the healing has already like happening when people arrive, And I have students reporting to me that, because usually from China, when they fly to Bali, they only have a few hours of sleep. But the next day, when they wake up in this energy and surrounded by nature and birds chirping, they often feel like nourished and energized already. So on day one, usually it's all about grounding, landing, and arriving. So, we have all of these things planned for them because every soul comes from a different, different perspective and different lifestyle. And we all have different life habits, and our body also, has a different constitution. So in Ayurveda, we call them doshas. Everyone has a different dosha. And in our retreat, we really believe in this approach of a holistic way because our body, mind, emotion, and spirit, our energies really, they're one thing. Everything that we work on the energetic body will reflect on the physical body as well. For example, when I am under emotional trauma or under emotional stress, that my mind goes into this like spiraling down negative pattern of thinking. And then I literally would feel like heaviness in my body and even pain sometimes. So when I work on the energy body, and instantly my body, physical body, feels lighter, and mentally I'm more clear, and emotionally I'm happier. So when people come, what we do is that we provide this little test and a conversation. We tune in with them to figure out their dosha, and we try to understand their body first, so that we can like make a customized plan for a meal plan to nourish their body. Because as I mentioned, it's all about like clarifying and cleansing and purifying. So the first thing they arrive is that, they get this sort of conversation to figure out their dosha. So we know how to support them fully and completely in terms of physical support. And on day one, as I said, it's all about landing, and relaxation really helps us to land. So we would have like a gentle yoga to help people to get landed. They really arrive here, connect to the earth, connect to the Bali energy. And we also have beautiful Balinese high priestess to give water, holy water blessing, so that, they really feel that energy of a welcome. The earth, the spirit, the people, everything is really opening up for their healing journey, for their purifying journey. So, and then we make this plan, like, for example, if your dosha is kapha, you have certain detox plan. If kapha means like earth, if you're more earthy, usually you have a little bit more weight. Your body has a little bit more ama, which means toxins. And if you're vata, which means like the energy of the wind, so you turn to dry, and somehow, your body shape is quite like thin, So, and you need a different nourishment, even for like massages and, detox massages, they need different type of oil. So we really need to figure out all of these details so that we can support their physical body to begin with this detoxification. Because like we live in the three-dimensional world. Of course, our energy body, our spiritual body, our mental and emotional body is crucial, important. But if we forget this physical body,
yes,
none of that can be supported. If we are physically in pain, it's really hard to like evolve. It's
evolute is
really
better.
difficult. I know, to evolve, to evolve. That's that's a made up word that we shared, right? In
Yes.
our circle. So we all want to evolve and evolute, but we need this three-dimensional physical body to support us to grow, to really come into this space of emptiness. Of course, we have like for certain people, raw food is really good for them. We have everything's organic. For some people, the Ayurveda way is more gentle. I tend to blend everything that works. It's not about like a religion, like you're vegan, you're vegetarian. It's about, of course, in the detox process, it's all plant-based, but it's not a rigid thing. We really need to look at an individual as every individual is unique and different. How we think, how we eat, how we process things, how we feel will impact our dosha, our body, in such an intimate way. So that's the physical, that's the food part, which is really important. And then we work on their like a nervous system, right? Because in modern life, you understand, as a MCC, Master Certified Coach yourself, you're so busy. Like every time I talk to you, I'm like, wow, business is good, but I'm busy. Sometimes we tend to, me as well, as an entrepreneur, a mother, and I also have my own spiritual practice. So when it's easy to get lost in life, in busy life, because in life we have so many roles to play. And so imagine all of our students and participants, they also have many roles to play in their life. So what we want to really facilitate is to really help them to, just let go all of the things and the roles and facade and masks and the things that drive their nervous system into such a tight and intense state. We try to really activate their parasympathetic nervous system So we have many different tools. For example, sound healing, right? Sound healing is one of my favorite to help my students, my participants to really land in Bali, the taste of Bali, a taste of like this deep relaxation and really just drop in and connect to earth and the nature elements. And usually at first couple of days, they have solid food, they have some smoothies to support them. And slowly they will go into a more deeper cleansing, purifying process physically, along with the emotion. Because when the body begins to detoxify, the consciousness and the emotional body, the mental body is like, because it's really one thing, right? When one part of us is begin to cleanse, other part also begin to cleanse. And then the emotion comes up, the shadow self comes up, the struggle comes up. And in life, as a coach, when we used to train in China, we often talk about like how coaching supports people. It focuses on now. And so that we can be present and create a beautiful, inspiring, compelling future. And retreat is something that really makes this whole timeline complete, because we also focus on the past. Because sometimes it's hard to move forward because there's something in the past that's dragging us. It's like we try to move forward, but it's hard. So in the retreat, we open up the space for shadow self. We open up the lineage of history so that we can go in deep and see if there's any pain or suffering or trauma that can be seen, that can be healed, that can be felt, that can be really acknowledged, honored, and released. And with that, we have also many different tools like the alchemical breath work, the yogas, all the asanas are designed to like open our physical body, and the juices is like cleansing out whatever that is stored up in our body. So, and then, with the coaching, we also help people to really see, they begin to self-reflect through these coaching sessions so that they can see, okay, what are some beliefs and consciousness that's really unsupportive of who they are and who they want to be in life, so it's all about, the first step is all about releasing, cleansing, purification. Yeah. And then the second step, I call it nourishment, right? We want to be nourished physically, mentally, and emotionally, and energetically. So people go through all these different processes. The journey is about cleansing, and then we go really deep into the past, into the shadow self. And then we come out feeling nourished and feeling loved and truly felt that unconditional love, for life, for self, so that it's not a conceptual thing anymore. Love is not conceptual. Love really is a vibration. And then you really go into this like process of nourishment for the soul, for the body, for the mind. And we also have like mantras, kirtan to practice, so people can really open up their throat chakra, find their own voice, find music, find things that make their heart sing, by express. Actually, express in beautiful healing arts. One of them is like Sanskrit chanting, kirtan, and meditation, deep meditation. So what else? And movement and dance. Besides yoga, we also have this shamanic movement, so that we can really like connect to each different energy, energy wheel of the body, the chakras, right? So that really moves the energy within the body. So that helps our body to detoxify. Also helps our spirit. We invoke and invite our spirit to come up. So. There's like really abundant ways to support people to come back to center, to unleash whatever that's been buried deep down, that's been blocking them from who they are, from what they want to achieve in life, and to truly, deeply get connected to that realm of unconditional love, acceptance, and compassion. Because that's the most powerful healing energy, right?
Yeah. And compassion to
So yeah.
themselves and compassion to, loving themselves. When you are in a retreat through this detox and cleansing and into energizing yourself, and as you
Yeah.
briefly say, you come to the level of unconditional compassion and love towards yourself, which is the foundation
Yes.
of your transformation and evolution.
Yeah. And it's really important because when we stuck in everyday life, we forget ourselves.
Yes.
We forget that we are also part of the nature. We are all we're made of all the five elements. So
Mm-hmm.
when we go into a place where we can really retreat, and in that space of safety and compassion and love, we are encouraged to self-discover.
Mm-hmm.
We're encouraged to express our authentic self. We're
Mm-hmm.
encouraged to be brave, you
Mm-hmm.
know, to have such an amazing outlook towards life because our
Mm-hmm.
inner energy, our vibration has shifted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we really connect to all five elements, like also earlier I mentioned about all the movement. There's also Watsu. Watsu is like this aquatic healing dance that's really help us to connect with the water elements. And there's a fire elements that help us to connect to that Shiva energy to really let go and burn away, because that's the energy of the fire. We have this like really traditional Balinese priest to come in and really organize this beautiful fire ceremony to help us to like unleash and because Shiva is like the god of destroyer that just help us to destroy everything that's not us anymore so that we can create something new. So
Mm-hmm.
all the five elements, and we also connect to earth, and then with the meditation, with the breath, we connect to ether, air.
Mm-hmm.
So we come back to ourselves basically, and
Mm-hmm.
this whole journey is to facilitate us to come back to self, because our self, our true pure essence is divine. It's a divine essence, and when we connect to that divine essence, it's so much easier to live in a in a happy and joyful and a super strong manifester sort of lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you can
Yeah.
really step into creating, the authentic
Yes.
life from where you are
Mm-hmm.
really, and by
Mm-hmm.
remembering who you really are, by reconnecting to your divine true self
Yeah.
and aligning and letting go. So, like, letting go of the layers and layers and layers that are not serving you any longer, you become that true
Mm-hmm.
self in the essence, and then
Yeah.
you can start living your authentic life.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Yeah,
Mm,
exactly.
mm,
I just did this whole retreat with a sister by myself because to teach what I know is important that I practice it myself. Like when I get stuck in life, in relationships, and then it would evoke some physical symptoms. And then I know I need time to retreat for myself in order to be a better self so I can love better. I can love my children better. I can love my colleagues better, my partners better,
mm,
you know? So
mm.
without that, I myself becomes a toxic ball of energy, you know. And then I can talk about love, but it's just like maybe I'm just manipulating in the name of love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but if I truly come back to self and I take time to love myself, like really, like, hey, I need to spend some time with myself. I need to ask myself honestly and answer myself honestly, like, how do you love yourself? No one is perfect. I am not perfect. So can you love
Mm.
yourself? Can you love this? you know, and
Can you
then
love this?
can you love this? This is not perfect, but can you love this? Like if I cannot even love myself, how can I expect anyone else to love myself like that?
Of
So
course.
everything that happens externally in relationships is just the mirror of our own inner world. It's so easy to stuck into the level of no power and just complain, his
Mm,
fault, her
mhm,
fault,
mhm,
oh, he's so controlling or she's so blah, blah, blah.
mm,
But once we go into this detoxification, like all these
mhm,
mind toxins also get to be assessed and really, it's almost like shining a torch on all of our thoughts and belief
mm,
systems. And
mm,
we
mm,
discover layers of self, as you mentioned, we strip
mm,
off these layers and go like, oh my God, I have that thought. I have that belief. No wonder I'm not feeling well. No
Yeah.
wonder I'm stuck in certain ththings, And
Yeah.
once you see it, you express it, you unleash it, you cleanse it, purify it, you evoke, using many, many tools. Nowadays, I use a lot of shamanic tools to really help me to cleanse. And after the cleanse, it's like magic. I'm like, feeling so light and so happy. I come back home and I'm looking at my children. I feel so much love and gratitude. And the thing is, all of a sudden, I don't even need to like be strict or yell at them. I can just be
Mhm.
loving them, and they're behaving like angels. It's like
Mhm.
it's almost like when I shift
Everything
energetically,
shifts.
everything shifts.
Yes, 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 yes. But
So,
it's
yeah.
important in the retreats to create a
Mm,
dedicated space for that.
mhm,
Like I
yeah.
always talk to people that I collaborate and also the people that I coach. This state of when life takes over, we really know it
Yeah.
really well because at this moment in time, we all live a very dynamic, hectic lives, and even people who are in stillness and silence, they're still living dynamic lives. So when
Mm,
you choose to create this space when you can retreat with yourself and when you can come and explore yourself to become a better version of you
mhm.
through the support of an amazing support structure around you and all the teachings that are coming into retreat, then you can go to the reset, then you can detoxify, then you can, as you said, beautifully shine the torch on different thought forms and patterns.
Yeah.
Then you can
Mhm,
let go of the toxins in your body, in your
mhm.
energy, in your spiritual presence, and then you can really, really, really reset your life. And that's the point of retreat. That's why people love coming to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard, like when we think about food, I have to talk about food a little bit because
Yeah, of course.
I brought a really good sister to do this retreat with me, and she's a shaman spiritually, and her spirit is so strong, but her physical body needs support, and that's like
Mm.
my niche. I just have this passion to serve people to make them physically strong. Um, and the thing is, even for myself, I discover if we're just like stuck in our everyday routine life and get busy and do, it's hard to take care of our diet, our food in such a heartfelt way. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It's like when we rush to eat our food, when we order food all the time,
Mhm.
or when we, lose certain consciousness about food, and we're just eating it as like, something to stuff this body so that you can move on to the next thing. And that really impacts our gut system, our gut health, and which really impacts the whole system between the gut and the heart and the mind, because
Mhm.
everything is
Mhm.
connected inside. When our gut is imbalanced, then our immune system crash. Yeah. And when the immune system crash, that would affect all of our organs, our liver, our kidney, our heart, our lymphatic system, our blood circulation. And then naturally, uh, physically, we would feel pain or heavy or like sort
Mhm.
of like no energy. That also directly impact our mind and our
Mhm.
emotion, how we feel,
Mhm.
and our energy body. So in a retreat, because of this like collective energy, and because you have beautiful space holders as well, people who have gone through this process so many times, like myself, like my TAs, some of my students who volunteer to be TAs. So you really have people who have gone through a detox a detox process, that they know what you are going through. And because of the space, the sacred space, that we're all holding for this one individual's evolution, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Like sometimes
Mhm.
we would have cravings that's actually related to emotional cravings, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, the space, as I mentioned, and the collective energy really supports us to eat healthier,
Mhm.
and when you, like, many people probably have tried to do a detox at home and somehow find it quite challenging, because you still have to deal with a lot of things, work or kids, and you have to cook as a mom, and it
Mhm.
becomes very difficult or challenging, because
Mhm.
when the body cleanses itself, it's already a big job. And on top of that, if we have to worry about other things, it's hard, you know.
Yep.
But in the retreat, because everything is taken care of by experts, you really don't need to worry about these things anymore. And with that strong collective energy that everyone is on the same boat, it makes the whole physical detox easier and also much more pleasant.
Yeah, you can let go and be held. You know, we
Yeah.
love that in the
Yeah.
retreat
Yeah.
terminology. You're being held within the
Exactly.
container that has been created, so you can really let go and surrender. And we all know that state. We all know that state that leads to purification and evolution when you're able to dedicate the time and energy to you. You don't have any disruptions. You're not pulled into different conversation that life offers, but you're really letting go and surrendering and being, you know. And you beautifully said, when we're in this do life all the time, we don't really have space to be. So we do have to create these wonderful, you know, retreats to be, you know, and to become and transform. So what do people report when they go through this process, when they finish everything? What is the outcome of it? How would you share on that?
Amazing. Some of them are so magical. It's hard to describe by words. I'll just give a few examples. One of my students who suffered from like a dual personality, but she wasn't fully aware of that. And during the retreat, like everything was out and open. You know, she literally like unleashed so much of resentment and anger that she literally suffocated herself for years, because on the surface, she just Mrs. Nice. She's always so nice, you know, and she could never say no to anybody, you know, and never to her parents, never to her friends. She's always the good girl. And in the retreat, wow, you know, what a cleanse. Like I believe she cleansed like years of like saved years of therapy.
Yeah.
And luckily we have such amazing sacred space holding, you know, she was being held. So she was safe, even though she was like letting everything out. It wasn't so pretty, to be honest. But she was held with sacred space and energy and love. And she was able to go through that tough patch and really come out from the other side beautifully. Like she completely changed her look. She even physically became more beautiful. I'm not kidding. Physically more, of course, she also lost more weight, because when the physical body detoxes, our skin is more radiant, our energy is better, and our body is just like more in this natural, healthy, balanced homeostasis sort of way. So she became healthier, therefore she's more radiant and more beautiful. And she began to shift her life. It had such a deep impact for her life. She went from depressive and being a victim into, I'm going to change my life. She moved apartment. She started practicing yoga regularly. She cut her hair. She became like so beautiful inside and out, you know. And of course, there are so many examples that there's also people who are like, you know, I've been complaining and complaining, never happy about myself and my life. And this retreat just made me discover how beautiful life is, how beautiful I am, how grateful, how much access I have towards that joyfulness, that great gratitude, that sense of satisfaction about life, you know? And also, one of my students, she's like a pretty famous female entrepreneur in China, in her circle, because she works in the investment realm. And I don't know much about that world, but I understand in that world they are under a lot of pressure. They work like dogs, you know, and you really need to push as a woman for your success. And she's a boss, and you know, because that extreme masculine energy, you know, really consumed her as a woman, and she started to have a lot of medical symptoms like anxiety, and she started to take medicines, Western medicines, a lot of them, and she couldn't sleep, so she had to take sleeping pills. And in order to minimize the side effect of sleeping pills, she had to take some other drugs. So every day, she's only 34. Okay, she's only 34. She's taking like 4 to 6 different types of drugs already. every day. So when she came to me, she was nearly lost hope. She said, somehow I feel this energy with you. I really need this retreat. I feel like I could trust you, you know. So we did this retreat for 7 days, even though it was only 7 days, but what it did for her was just absolutely amazing. When she returned to China 2 months later, she texted me. She said, I've stopped all my drugs. I'm not because before she was addicted to her
Reliant.
drugs,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. To
yeah, she
function.
said, I'm no longer rely on drugs anymore.
Mm.
Okay. And a year later, she joined another retreat. And now she's on a different path. She's on the
Mhm.
path of like becoming a yogi.
Mhm. Of
She
course.
looks so much happier and more beautiful
Yeah.
and fit and healthy, you know. And if I look at her picture, it's completely two different women now comparing to 2 years ago when I first
Wonderful.
met her. It's just like
Wonderful.
seeing her become so happy was such a blessing for me.
Absolutely.
Huge transformation, you know.
Yes.
Mm.
So, there's so many beautiful benefits of coming to retreat, and you can already sense all of this through Vivien sharing, through her speech and energy, and also through what are the methodologies that are going to be applied in the
Mm-hmm.
retreat going forward. So yes, you can also transform your life. You can also
Yes.
come to it, whatever the circumstance is. It might be a fine tuning, right? If you already
Yeah.
are away in your spiritual path, but you need to
Mm.
top up your energy, you need
Mm-hmm.
to kind of brush certain things, you need to put certain things in place. That's also good. If you are really struggling, that's also great. If you're
Yeah.
somebody who, like Vivien shared with her, one of her clients who is a high achiever, or somebody who is really on a demanding job, and you understand that you're under consistent stress, this is
Mm-hmm.
also something that would really
Yeah.
give you new energy. If you are busy parent with kids and busy life that family represents, because that also can be consistent stress.
Mm.
You can also come here if you're an entrepreneur who's running a business and managing everything, becoming hyper creative. If you're professional as well, if you're in the coming from the law or accounting in any other industry.
Mm.
So this is open to all people who feel that need to come to that space of stillness and silence, to reconnect to themselves, to detoxify their life, and to emerge like new, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I myself, when I first started attending retreats, I was already a coach. That was
Mm-hmm.
like 7, 8 years ago. That's right before I met you. So
Mm,
remember, I have shared my personal story that I was
mm,
infertile for 10 years. For 10 years, I was infertile.
mm,
Western doctor already gave, I did every test possible. They were like, not possible. I don't think you can get pregnant naturally. If you do want to try, you should try in vitro, but even then may not succeed. And I myself, just, I was hopeless. I was like,
mm.
I was only 24 when I learned the news from the doctors. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? What if I do want to have kids?
Yeah,
I had to
yeah,
convince myself that I didn't want to have kids. I'm like, I'm
yeah.
happy without children. There are many, many successful women who have abundant, nourishing, meaningful life without kids.
Mm,
But when I went through a deep coaching process, I remember I was crying and crying and crying because what I thought I wanted was completely different from what my heart wanted.
mhm,
My heart wanted a beautiful family. My heart wanted kids. And then I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't know what to do. And one day I was just like, really, it felt like answering the call of my soul. I'm like, I got to
mhm,
go to Bali. I got to do this retreat for myself. I've been serving others for years. I need to do this for myself. I need to love myself better.
mm,
And I did this whole retreat thing in Bali. What it did for me was like unforgettable. It really brought the biggest miracle in my life, my kids.
mm.
And then I couldn't believe it. I finished my retreat. 2 months later, I was in China and I was pregnant with Lennox. And that's when we met.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
So the magic happens. The magic
Mm,
happens. What I love about you,
yeah.
Vivian, and wrapping up the podcast, it's that
Mm-hmm.
you're super authentic. Whatever you have experienced in your life journey brought you up to
Mm-hmm.
this point. But also, you're beautifully rigorous to practice and to eat your own medicine. In the personal development world, if you're not practicing what we preach, if you don't do what we want other people to do, we're not able to serve them properly because we're not 100% authentic. And the beauty of you and the beauty of what you bring in this retreat is your authenticity, because you truly walk your talk. As you said, nobody's perfect. We're still work in progress. We're walking our talk.
Yeah, we all are. We are all on the journey. It never stops.
Great. So one last thing that you would love to mention to the audience before we wrap up?
One last thing.
Or invitation.
Invitation. Like, I really would love to invite everybody to come to Bali to experience this beautiful journey of detoxification and coaching, and have all these amazing tools to be available to you in such trusted hands. Really, I would say, come to Bali and really experience it yourself, and really live the life that your heart and your soul desires for, because you're worth it. You deserve it. We all deserve it. We're all divine children. We just need to find it, and through this journey of retreat. What else? I have personally benefited from retreats so much. I sometimes feel like we got to retreat the world. So I want to just expand and extend my invitation, my passion to all of you guys who are watching, and really consider come and join us in Bali. Love you guys. Mwah.
Thank you, Vivien, so much for these elevated conversations. As you know, this whole podcast is created to elevate your heart, to elevate your mind and soul and your body to the next level of itself. Thank you so much for elevating and flying with us today. We cannot wait to see you in Bali. More information will come your way. So, Vivien, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for your invitation. I love you, Zoran. I miss you. Come to Bali.
Bye.
Can't wait to see you. Bye.